It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. This observation, so often repeated, sets the stage for the unfolding drama in the lives of the Bennet family. In the quiet village of Longbourn, the arrival of Mr. Bingley, a wealthy bachelor, stirs excitement among the local families, particularly Mrs. Bennet, who is determined to marry off her 5 daughters. With the prospect of a wealthy suitor in town, Mrs. Bennet's ambitions rise, and she begins plotting how to attract Mr. Bingley to their home. The Bennet sisters, Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, and Lydia, each possess distinct personalities and varying degrees of interest in marriage and society. Jane, the eldest, is gentle and kind, while Elizabeth, known for her wit and intelligence, often challenges societal norms. The family's financial situation is precarious, as their estate is entailed to a distant cousin, Mr. Collins, should Mr. Bennet pass away without a male heir. This looming uncertainty adds pressure to the sisters' prospects for marriage. When Mr. Bingley attends a local ball accompanied by his friend Mr. Darcy, the dynamics shift dramatically. Mr. Bingley's charm and affability make an immediate impression, especially on Jane, while Mr. Darcy's aloofness and pride create a stark contrast. Elizabeth overhears Mr. Darcy's dismissive comment about her beauty, which ignites her disdain for him. As the evening unfolds, the seeds of love, pride, and prejudice are sown, setting the stage for the complex relationships and misunderstandings that will follow. The excitement in Longbourn is palpable, and the lives of the Bennet sisters are about to change forever. As the news of Mr. Bingley's arrival spreads through Meryton, the excitement in Longbourn intensifies. Mrs. Bennet is relentless in her pursuit of a match for her daughters, particularly for Jane, who she believes has captured Mr. Bingley's interest. The Bennet household buzzes with preparations for social gatherings, and Mrs. Bennet insists on inviting Mr. Bingley to dine at their home. Jane is both flattered and shy about the prospect of entertaining a wealthy suitor. Meanwhile, Elizabeth observes the unfolding drama with a mix of amusement and skepticism. She knows her mother's ambitions and the pressure on her sisters to secure advantageous marriages. As the days pass, Mr. Bingley returns to Longbourn, and the atmosphere is filled with hope and anticipation. The dinner is a lively affair, with Mr. Bingley's charm winning over the entire family, especially Jane, whose beauty and kindness shine through. In contrast, Mr. Darcy remains distant, often lost in thought, which only adds to Elizabeth's growing disdain for him. During the evening, Elizabeth engages in witty banter with Mr. Bingley, appreciating his easygoing nature, while Mr. Darcy's cold demeanor continues to irritate her. The contrast between the two men becomes increasingly apparent, with Mr. Bingley's amiability highlighting Mr. Darcy's pride. After the dinner, Elizabeth shares her thoughts with her sisters, expressing her disapproval of Mr. Darcy's arrogance. However, Jane remains hopeful, believing that Mr. Bingley's interest in her is genuine. The tension between pride and prejudice begins to take shape, foreshadowing the challenges that lie ahead for the Bennet sisters as they navigate love and societal expectations. Little do they know that their lives will soon be intertwined with the enigmatic Mr. Darcy in ways they could not possibly anticipate. The following week brings more opportunities for social interaction as the Bennet sisters attend another ball in Meryton. The excitement is palpable, especially for Jane, who hopes to see Mr. Bingley again. Elizabeth, however, is still wary of Mr. Darcy, whose reputation as a proud and wealthy man precedes him. At the ball, Mr. Bingley is as charming as ever, dancing with Jane and drawing her into his orbit. Elizabeth observes their interactions with a mix of happiness for her sister and a lingering sense of skepticism about the sincerity of Mr. Bingley's affections. Meanwhile, Mr. Darcy stands apart, his aloofness making him the subject of gossip among the attendees. Elizabeth's curiosity about him grows, fueled by her initial impressions of his arrogance. During the evening, Mr. Wickham, a new arrival in Meryton, captures Elizabeth's attention. He is charming and personable, sharing stories of his past and his acquaintance with Mr. Darcy. Wickham's perspective paints Darcy in a negative light, claiming that Darcy has wronged him and is not to be trusted. Elizabeth, intrigued by Wickham's tale, finds herself drawn to him, appreciating his warmth and charm. The contrast between Wickham's affability and Darcy's pride deepens Elizabeth's prejudice against the latter. As the evening unfolds, the dance floor becomes a battleground of emotions, revealing the complexities of attraction, pride, and societal expectations. Elizabeth's growing interest in Wickham complicates her feelings toward Darcy, setting the stage for misunderstandings and conflicts that will challenge her perceptions of both men. As the night comes to a close, Elizabeth leaves the ball with her mind racing, contemplating the unfolding drama and the characters that have entered her life. After the comical proposal from Mr. Collins, the atmosphere in Longbourn shifts. Elizabeth's rejection has sparked a newfound sense of independence within her, while her sisters react differently to the news. Jane, ever the optimist, believes that Elizabeth's strong will is admirable, while Lydia and Kitty are more concerned about their own prospects for marriage. Mr. Collins, undeterred by the rejection, decides to pursue another option. He sets his sights on marrying one of Elizabeth's sisters, believing it is his duty to secure a match within the Bennet family. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's relationship with Mr. Wickham continues to blossom. They share more conversations, and she learns about his background, which paints a sympathetic picture of him. Wickham's tales of his childhood friendship with Mr. Darcy further fuel Elizabeth's prejudice against Darcy, as he describes how Darcy's pride led to his mistreatment. Elizabeth finds herself captivated by Wickham's charm, and their connection deepens as they share laughter and stories. However, the more she hears about Darcy's supposed misdeeds, the more entrenched her feelings become. At the same time, Mr. Bingley's affection for Jane grows stronger, and he begins to show signs of wanting to pursue a courtship. The contrast between Bingley's warmth and Darcy's coldness becomes increasingly pronounced, leaving Elizabeth confused about her own feelings. As the chapter unfolds, Elizabeth grapples with her growing attachment to Wickham while trying to navigate the complexities of her family's expectations. The tension between her burgeoning romance and societal pressures creates a rich backdrop for the unfolding drama, setting the stage for deeper conflicts ahead. With winter approaching, the social scene in Meryton continues to thrive, and the Bennet sisters find themselves increasingly entangled in the lives of the Bingleys and Mr. Wickham. Jane's relationship with Mr. Bingley blossoms, and the two spend more time together, much to Mrs. Bennet's delight. However, Elizabeth remains cautious, observing the dynamics with a critical eye. She senses the influence of Mr. Bingley's sisters, who seem determined to keep Jane at a distance, fearing her humble origins. Elizabeth's protective instincts grow stronger, and she begins to confront the societal pressures that threaten to overshadow Jane's happiness. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's connection with Mr. Wickham deepens, and she finds solace in their shared conversations. Wickham's charm and charisma captivate her, and she begins to envision a future with him. However, her feelings are complicated by the revelations about Mr. Darcy's past, as Wickham continues to paint him in a negative light. Elizabeth grapples with the conflicting narratives, torn between her growing affection for Wickham and her evolving understanding of Darcy. During a chance encounter, Elizabeth confronts Darcy about Wickham's claims, challenging him to defend his character. This confrontation ignites a spark of tension between them, as Darcy's pride clashes with Elizabeth's determination to seek the truth. The chapter ends with Elizabeth reflecting on the complexities of love and loyalty, realizing that her perceptions may not be as clear-cut as she once believed. The emotional landscape becomes increasingly intricate, foreshadowing the conflicts and revelations that will shape their destinies. As the holiday season approaches, the Bennet family prepares for a festive gathering at Longbourn. The atmosphere is filled with excitement, but underlying tensions simmer beneath the surface. Jane and Mr. Bingley's relationship continues to flourish, while Elizabeth remains caught in a web of conflicting emotions regarding Mr. Wickham and Mr. Darcy. The gathering brings together friends and family, but the presence of Mr. Collins adds a layer of absurdity to the festivities. His pompous demeanor and incessant self-promotion provide comic relief, much to the amusement of the Bennet sisters. However, the evening takes a serious turn when Mr. Collins proposes to Jane, only to be met with a firm rejection. The awkwardness of the situation escalates, and Elizabeth finds herself defending her sister against Mr. Collins' persistent advances. The tension is palpable, and the dynamics within the family shift as they navigate the fallout from the proposal. Amidst the chaos, Elizabeth's thoughts drift to Mr. Wickham, whose charm continues to hold her captive. She yearns for the simplicity of their connection, but doubts begin to creep in as she reflects on the complexities of love and loyalty. The chapter culminates in a moment of introspection for Elizabeth, as she realizes that her feelings for Wickham may not be as straightforward as she once believed. The interplay of humor and tension sets the stage for the unfolding drama, highlighting the challenges of navigating love and societal expectations. As winter deepens, the social dynamics in Meryton shift dramatically. Mr. Bingley and his sisters host a grand ball at Netherfield, and anticipation fills the air. The Bennet sisters prepare eagerly, with Jane hoping to see Mr. Bingley and Elizabeth bracing herself for another encounter with Mr. Darcy. The evening begins with excitement, and the atmosphere is charged with energy as guests arrive. Mr. Bingley is charming and attentive to Jane, making her feel special. Elizabeth observes their interactions with a mix of happiness for her sister and lingering doubts about Bingley's sincerity. Meanwhile, Mr. Darcy's presence looms large, and Elizabeth cannot shake her feelings of animosity toward him. During the evening, Elizabeth finds herself reluctantly drawn into a dance with him. Their interactions are fraught with tension, as Elizabeth's prejudice clashes with Darcy's pride. During their dance, Darcy surprises Elizabeth with a compliment, revealing a glimpse of vulnerability beneath his stoic exterior. This unexpected moment challenges Elizabeth's perceptions of him, igniting a flicker of curiosity. However, the arrival of Mr. Wickham disrupts the evening's harmony. Wickham's charm captivates the crowd, and Elizabeth is drawn to him once more. Their conversation is filled with warmth and familiarity, further complicating her feelings. As the night progresses, Elizabeth witnesses the stark contrast between Darcy's reserved nature and Wickham's affability. The chapter culminates in a moment of realization for Elizabeth, as she grapples with the complexities of attraction and the dangers of preconceived notions. The ball serves as a turning point, setting the stage for deeper revelations and emotional entanglements as the story unfolds. The aftermath of the Netherfield ball leaves Elizabeth in a state of confusion. Her interactions with Mr. Darcy and Mr. Wickham have stirred a whirlwind of emotions, and she finds herself questioning her judgments. The following days are filled with gossip and speculation about the events of the ball, particularly regarding Mr. Bingley's intentions toward Jane. Mrs. Bennet is in high spirits, convinced that a proposal is imminent, while Jane remains blissfully unaware of the pressures surrounding her. Elizabeth, however, is not so easily swayed. She begins to distance herself from Wickham, wary of the influence he has on her perceptions of Darcy. Despite her growing curiosity about Darcy, her prejudice runs deep, fueled by Wickham's tales of his past. One afternoon, Elizabeth visits Charlotte Lucas, her dear friend, who offers a different perspective on love and marriage. Charlotte's pragmatic views challenge Elizabeth's romantic ideals, prompting her to reconsider her own beliefs. As they discuss the nature of relationships, Elizabeth grapples with the tension between her desires and societal expectations. Meanwhile, news arrives that Mr. Bingley and his party will be leaving Netherfield for London, throwing Jane into despair. Elizabeth's protective instincts kick in, and she resolves to support her sister through this difficult time. The chapter ends with Elizabeth reflecting on the complexities of love, friendship, and societal pressures, recognizing that the path ahead is fraught with challenges. The emotional landscape continues to evolve, setting the stage for the revelations and conflicts that will shape their destinies. As winter gives way to spring, the tension in Meryton reaches a boiling point. Mr. Bingley's departure for London leaves Jane heartbroken, and Elizabeth is determined to protect her sister from further disappointment. In the midst of this turmoil, Mr. Collins returns to Longbourn, intent on renewing his proposal to Elizabeth. His pompous nature and absurdity provide comic relief, but Elizabeth's rejection remains firm. However, Mrs. Bennet's desperation to secure a marriage for her daughters intensifies, leading to heated arguments within the family. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's feelings for Mr. Darcy begin to shift. After a chance encounter at a local gathering, she witnesses a different side of him, one that is compassionate and genuine. This unexpected revelation challenges her preconceived notions and ignites a flicker of curiosity. As Elizabeth navigates her conflicting emotions, she finds solace in her friendship with Charlotte. Charlotte's pragmatic approach to love and marriage offers Elizabeth a new perspective, prompting her to reconsider her own beliefs. However, the arrival of Mr. Wickham complicates matters further. His charm remains irresistible, and Elizabeth finds herself torn between her growing feelings for him and her evolving understanding of Darcy. The chapter culminates in a moment of clarity for Elizabeth, as she realizes that love is not as simple as she once believed. The complexities of attraction, pride, and societal expectations intertwine, setting the stage for the dramatic confrontations and revelations that lie ahead.